"Daddy, stop please." But her father wouldn't stop. He was about to trade his daughter like cattle, and that one decision unleashed a chain of events no one saw coming. This is the story of Adiz, the girl who ran into the forbidden forest and came back, transformed. The rooster crowed for the third time, yet the compound of Chief Obi's remained strangely quiet. Normally, by this time, the chief's wives would be sweeping the yard, pounding yam, or scolding children for playing too early. But this morning, an eerie silence hung heavy in the air, broken only by the soft, shaky voice of a young girl crying. "Daddy, stop, please." The words were weak, tremulous, as though someone had wrung the strength from her very soul. A passing hunter, Ugana, stopped at the edge of the compound. His brow furrowed. Ugana had hunted in the nearby forest long before sunrise and was now on his way home with 2 antelopes slung over his shoulder. But what he heard unsettled him deeply. He knew that voice. It belonged to Adiz, the chief's first daughter, barely 15 seasons old. Ugana froze. Should he knock? Should he pretend he heard nothing? In their village of Omiuku, it was taboo to interfere with the matters of a chief's household, especially Chief Obi's. The man was powerful, feared, and not known for mercy. But Ugana was a father of 2 daughters himself. The voice of a pleading child struck his conscience like an axe striking a tree trunk. Before he could decide what to do, a loud, sharp slap echoed from inside. Then Adiz's voice rose again, shaking with terror. "Daddy, stop, please. I beg you." Ugana dropped the antelopes and rushed into the compound. Chief Obi's was a man of large stature, his frame intimidating even when he stood still. But this morning, he was far from still, he was raging. His chest heaved, his nostrils flared, and his right hand clutched a heavy cane made from palm kernel branch, one so thick it could whip the bark of a tree. Adiz knelt before him, trembling, her wrapper barely clinging to her shoulders, her small arms shielding her head from another strike. "Who gave you the right to refuse me?" Chief Obi's roared, his eyes wild. "You are my daughter. I gave you life, I feed you, I clothe you, how dare you disobey me?" Adiz sobbed. "Please, Daddy, I didn't mean to offend you. I don't want to go with him. I don't want to marry Chief Dyke." Ugana froze at the doorway. Chief Dyke. The 65-year-old chief from a neighboring village, notorious for his greed and cruel treatment of women. So that was it. Chief Obi's was forcing Adiz into marriage. It was not uncommon for chiefs to exchange daughters for alliances, but Adiz was a child. Chief Obi's raised his cane again. "You think you know what you want? You are a child. You will marry who I say, or I swear by Amedioho, I will drive you from this house with nothing but your tears." Ugana stepped forward. "Chief, please, stop. She's only a child." Chief Obi spun around, glaring at Ugana as if he were an insect daring to interrupt a lion's meal. "Who are you to tell me how to discipline my child? Who gave you the boldness to step into my house uninvited?" Ugana stammered. I only heard her crying. I thought." "You thought wrong." Chief Obi's barked. "Get out before I show you the same cane." Ugana hesitated, then glanced at Adiz, whose eyes pleaded with him in silence. But what could he do? The chief was powerful, the law weak. If Ugana angered him, he could lose not just his livelihood but perhaps his life. Ugana turned to leave, shame twisting his stomach. But Adiz's voice chased him out. "Daddy, stop, please." News travels faster than fire in dry harmattan. By midday, half the village had heard of Adiz's cries. Some whispered that Chief Obi's had gone mad. Others shook their heads and muttered, "It is none of our business. A man rules his house as he wishes." But one person did not keep silent, Mama Ijeoma, the oldest woman in the village, whose words were often dismissed as the ramblings of age, yet always carried a strange power. She sat under the great Iroko tree, her grey hair wrapped in a faded blue scarf. When Ugana passed by with his antelopes, she called to him. Ugana, my son. Did I not hear that Chief Obi struck Adis this morning? Ugana sighed, placing the antelopes down. Mama, it is true. He is forcing her to marry Chief Dak. She refused, and he beat her like a thief. Mama Ijioma's eyes darkened. I warned him long ago, but pride deafens men. That man walks on a path the spirits will not forgive. Ugana frowned. What do you mean? The old woman's voice dropped to a whisper. Chief Obi's made a secret oath with Chief Dak years ago. He promised his first daughter as a bride, in exchange for wealth and power. But such promises to spirits and greedy men always end in tears. Mark my words, Ugana, that cry you heard, Daddy, stop please, will haunt this village. That evening, Adis sat by the stream, tears falling into the clear water. She clutched a small necklace shaped like a cowrie shell, a gift from her late mother, who had died when she was 8. Her younger brother, Chike, crept up beside her. He was barely 10 but already protective of his sister. Ada, don't cry. I'll talk to Daddy. Adis shook her head. No, Chike. Don't. He will beat you too. But why don't you want to marry Chief Dak? He is rich. He has cows, goats, even a car. Adis shuddered. Because he is wicked, Chike. They say his last wife died mysteriously. Some say he beats women until their bones break. I will not go there. I'd rather run away. Chike gasped. Run away. To where? Adis looked at the darkening forest across the stream. Anywhere but here. Chike trembled. The forest is dangerous. Mama Ijeoma says spirits live there. Adis smiled sadly. Spirits might be kinder than men like Chief Dak, or even Daddy. When darkness fell, Adis packed a small bundle, 2 wrappers, a calabash of water, some roasted yam, and her mother's necklace. She waited until everyone slept, then tiptoed out. But as she reached the compound gate, she heard footsteps. Where are you going, Adis? It was Chike, holding a small lantern. Adis turned, startled. Chike, go back to bed. I have to leave before Daddy gives me away like a goat. Chike's lip trembled. Please don't leave me. If you go, who will sing me to sleep? Who will braid my hair like Mama did? Adis hugged him. I'll come back for you one day, I promise. But I can't stay here. Suddenly, a voice thundered behind them. Where do you think you are going? It was Chief Obi's, towering in the doorway, his face twisted with fury. He had been watching all along. Before Adis could run, Chief Obi's grabbed her arm and dragged her back inside. He locked the gate and shoved her to the ground. You dare to run from me? From your father? From the life I chose for you? Please, Daddy, stop, please. Adis begged. But Chief Obis ignored her cries and raised the cane again. That was when Mama Ijeoma entered, unafraid of the chief's reputation. She raised her gnarled hand and shouted, Enough, Obis. You beat this child one more time, and the gods themselves will punish you. Chief Obis froze, stunned by her boldness. Old woman, leave my house before I forget you are old. Mama Ijeoma stepped closer, eyes blazing. I warned you before, do not offer your daughter like a goat to old men. If you strike her again tonight, your house will know no peace. Your name will be remembered only in curses. For the first time, Chief Obis hesitated. Something in the old woman's voice carried weight, not just human anger, but something deeper, something ancient. He dropped the cane but spat at Adis' feet. Go to your hut and stay there. Tomorrow, Chief Dak comes for you, and you will go with him, whether you like it or not. Adis ran to her hut, sobbing. Mama Ijeoma shook her head. Obis, You have invited darkness into your home. That night, Addis dreamt of her mother, standing by the stream with the cowrie shell necklace glowing. Addis, my daughter, her mother said softly. Do not go with Chief Dyke. Run to the forest. There you will find help. But beware of the 3 tests of the spirits. Addis woke with a start, her heart pounding. She knew what she had to do. Addis woke before the first cock crowed, her mother's words from the dream echoing in her mind. Run to the forest. There you will find help. But beware of the 3 tests of the spirits. She packed the same small bundle from the night before and kissed her sleeping brother's forehead. Stay strong, Chike, she whispered. One day, I will come back for you. This time, she moved like a shadow, avoiding the dry leaves that could betray her steps. She slipped through the small hole at the back of the compound fence, a hole she had secretly made days earlier when her father's beatings became unbearable. As she stepped out into the cold embrace of the night, the village dogs howled, and an owl hooted from a distant tree. Addis shivered but pressed forward toward the great forest. Every villager feared it. Stories of spirits, wandering souls, and dangerous beasts were whispered around fires at night. But to Addis, that forest represented freedom. By sunrise, Addis had reached the edge of the forest. Her feet were sore, and her throat dry, but she dared not turn back. She stepped inside, and immediately, the world seemed to change. The air was colder, heavier, as if unseen eyes were watching. After walking for what felt like hours, she heard it, a soft, heart-wrenching sobbing. She turned her head and saw something strange, a tree, crying. Its trunk was thick, clear sap that looked like tears, and the sound was unmistakable, a weeping voice. Help me, please, help me, the tree whispered, though no lips moved. Addis froze. She remembered her mother's words about 3 tests of the spirits. Was this the first? She hesitated. What if it was a trap? But her heart, soft and compassionate, pushed her forward. What is wrong? She asked the tree. The crying grew louder. Free me, cut my ropes. Addis circled the tree and gasped. Its roots were bound with heavy iron chains, glowing faintly with a strange light. She searched her bag and found nothing sharp enough to cut iron. But she remembered her mother's necklace. She took it off and struck it against the chains. To her surprise, the cowrie shell necklace glowed bright, and the chains shattered like clay pots. The tree sighed in relief and straightened, its leaves shimmering with golden light. Thank you, child of sorrow, it said. Because you freed me, I bless your feet, no path you walk will ever lose its way. Suddenly, a narrow path lit up ahead, glowing faintly like a river of fireflies. Addis knew this was the way forward. Back at the village, Chief Obis discovered Addis' disappearance. His roar shook the compound. She dares run again. Ungrateful child. Guards! Find her. Search every path. If she is gone when Chief Dyke arrives, you will all feel my wrath. But even as men ran into the bush with machetes and lanterns, Mama Ijeoma sat by the gate, shaking her head. You cannot catch her, Obis. Not today. The spirits have claimed her journey, and your greed has opened a door you cannot close. Chief Obis snarled, Old woman, if you don't leave my sight. Or what? Mama Ijeoma interrupted, her eyes flashing like lightning. Strike me, and your own hands will wither. For the first time, Chief Obi stepped back. Somewhere deep inside, fear stirred. Following the glowing path, Addis reached a wide river. But instead of water, it flowed with what looked like liquid mirror, reflecting the sky and trees but twisting them unnaturally. On the other side stood a beautiful woman dressed in flowing white, her face serene and kind. My dear child, the woman said sweetly. You have suffered. Come, cross the river, and I will give you a new home, food, and peace. You will never cry again. Addis stepped forward but paused. Something felt wrong. Her mother's voice echoed again in her mind, "Beware of the three tests." Addis frowned. "Who are you?" The woman smiled wider. "I am your true mother, come back from the world beyond to take you to happiness." Addis trembled. Could it be true? Could her mother really have returned? She longed to believe it. Tears welled in her eyes. "Mama, is it you?" "Yes, my daughter. Step onto the river, and you will be safe." But then Addis remembered, her real mother always wore a scar on her left cheek from an old cooking accident. She stared hard, the woman had no scar. "You're not my mother," Addis shouted. The woman's smile twisted into a snarl, her face elongating like melted wax. "Foolish child. You reject safety. Then drown in sorrow." She lunged toward Addis, but the glowing necklace shielded her, emitting a blinding light. The woman screamed and vanished into mist, and the mirror river turned into a simple wooden bridge. Addis crossed safely, her heart pounding. That was test number 2. By midday, news had spread, Addis had truly vanished, and Chief Dyke had arrived with 10 goats, 10 kegs of palm wine, and a fat cow as bride price, only to find no bride waiting. "Where is the girl?" Chief Dyke demanded, his eyes narrowing. Chief Obi's forced a smile. She is coming." But Dyke was not patient. "You think I am a fool? I heard whispers that she ran away because she does not want me. Do you know what shame you have brought me?" The villagers gathered, murmuring. Some quietly sided with Addis. Others feared the wrath of the 2 chiefs. Mama Ijeoma, however, spoke loudly. "This is what happens when you sell your child like a market goat. You should be ashamed, Obis." Chief Obis roared, "Shut up, old woman." But Mama Ijeoma stood, raising her walking stick. "No, Obis. You shut up and listen, the gods will not let this go unpunished. Already, your ancestors weep." The villagers gasped as a sudden wind blew through the compound, scattering palm fronds and knocking down one of the wine kegs. Some whispered, "The spirits are angry." Addis walked deeper into the forest until she reached a clearing. There, a massive leopard sat, its golden eyes fixed on her. But instead of attacking, it spoke in a deep, rumbling voice. "Child, I have been waiting." Addis froze. You can talk." The leopard nodded. "This is the 3rd test. If you can answer my riddle, you will pass. If not, I will eat you." Addis' legs trembled, but she nodded. "Ask your riddle." The leopard licked its paw. "I am something everyone has, but many throw away. Without me, even kings fall. With me, even the poor rise. What am I?" Addis frowned, thinking hard. "Something everyone has, people throw it away, kings fall without it, the poor rise with it." Then she remembered her mother's constant advice, "Addis, always keep your integrity. It is the one thing no one can steal unless you give it away." "Is it honor?" Addis asked. The leopard smiled, showing sharp teeth. "Correct. You have passed." It stepped aside, revealing a small hut glowing faintly in the distance. "Inside, you will find safety. But remember, child, the journey is not yet over. Danger still haunts you." Addis entered the hut and collapsed in exhaustion, finally feeling safe, for now. That night, strange things started happening in Chief Obi's compound. Goats bleated without reason, chickens refused to roost, and the compound's well turned black as tar. Chief Dyke stormed out in anger, taking his gifts back. "You have brought me shame. Our deal is broken." Chief Obi sat in his hut, sweating. For the first time, he thought about Addis' voice that morning, "Daddy, stop please," it echoed in his head like a curse. He drank palm wine to forget, but instead saw visions, Addis standing by the river, her eyes glowing white. "You will regret, father," the vision whispered. Chief Obi screamed, dropping his cup. Maybe Mama Ijeoma was right. Maybe he had angered something far greater than himself. Chief Obi's could not sleep. Adi's cry haunted him. Daddy, stop please. It echoed in his skull as though the gods had carved it into his bones. By midnight, the wind rose, howling like angry spirits. The roof of his hut rattled, and the sacred ancestral staff in the corner fell, snapping in two. In Igbo culture, that staff represented protection and honor from ancestors. Breaking it was an omen of great doom. He stumbled outside, only to see Mama Ijeoma standing by the gate, her eyes glowing faintly in the moonlight. Obis, she said in a voice that was not entirely her own, the ancestors' call. You have spilled the tears of an innocent child, and the land rejects you. Chief Obis dropped to his knees. Mama, please, she is my daughter. I only wanted to secure her future. Mama Ijeoma's voice sharpened. A father who sells his daughter sells his own soul. You beat her. You silenced her cries. Now listen well, only her forgiveness can save you. Go to the forest, seek her, and beg before the sun rises, or by dawn, you will lose everything. Chief Obis did something no one thought possible. He humbled himself. He took no guards, no cane, no gifts, only his staff and a small calabash of water. He walked into the dreaded forest, muttering prayers to every deity he could remember. The forest, however, was alive in ways he had never seen. Eyes glimmered in the darkness, unseen hands brushed against his arms, and strange whispers echoed. Daddy, stop please. He reached the glowing path Adis had taken earlier. There, the crying tree now stood tall, free from chains. Its leaves shimmered as he passed, whispering, only the pure of heart may pass. Chief Obi stopped, shame weighing heavily on him. I was wrong, he admitted out loud. I only wanted power. The tree remained silent for a moment before the path glowed once again, allowing him through. At the river of doubts, he too was met by the spirit woman in white. Do you seek redemption? She asked mockingly. Yes, Obi said, surprising even himself with his humility. I am a foolish man. I beat my child. I forced her to marry a wicked man. I beg forgiveness. The spirit woman smiled cruelly. Then step into the river, and I will cleanse you. But Obis remembered Mama Ijeoma's words about test. No. Only Adi's forgiveness can cleanse me. The spirit hissed and vanished, the wooden bridge appearing. When he reached the clearing, the leopard from Adi's trial appeared again, its golden eyes scanning him. Oh, Chief Obis, it said, its voice like rolling thunder. Even the mighty fall. Why are you here? Obis bowed his head. I have wronged my child. I seek her forgiveness. The leopard tilted its head. Another riddle, then. Answer truthfully, what is heavier than iron, more valuable than gold, yet as fragile as glass? Chief Obis thought hard. He had always valued wealth, cattle, land, but what had he truly lost? Then it hit him, love. He had traded his daughter's love for wealth. Is it a child's trust? He answered softly. The leopard smiled. Correct. You may pass. But know this, trust once broken is the hardest to mend. Chief Obis finally reached the glowing hut where Adi slept. He knocked gently. She awoke, startled, and clutched her mother's necklace. When she saw who it was, she gasped. Father. Obis fell to his knees. Adis, my daughter, forgive me. I was blinded by greed and pride. I beat you, I tried to give you away. Please, forgive me. Adi's eyes filled with tears. You chased me like a criminal. Obi's voice cracked. I know. I have no excuse. But please, come home. I will never hurt you again. I will call off the marriage. Just forgive me. For a long silence, Adi stared at him, her heart torn. She remembered her mother's dream message about the 3 tests. Maybe this was the 4th and final test, her own heart. Finally, she whispered, "I forgive you, Daddy. But I cannot go home. Not yet. I belong to something greater now." The heart glowed brighter, and a soft wind blew. From the shadows, Mama Ijeoma stepped forward, though her body seemed semi-transparent, almost spirit-like. "Adis has been chosen," she said. "Because she endured suffering with purity, she is now under the protection of the ancient spirits. She will learn wisdom and healing for all who suffer as she did." Chief Obis wept. "So I have lost her?" Mama Ijeoma nodded gently. "Not lost, transformed. One day she may return, but not as the child you knew. She will return as a healer." When Obis returned to the village alone, the people whispered. Some mocked him, others pitied him. Chief Dyke humiliated him openly. "You cannot even control your own house. How dare you offer me promises you cannot keep?" That night, Chief Dyke's cattle all died mysteriously, and his house caught fire. Many whispered it was Adi's spirit protectors at work. As for Chief Obis, everything he had gained through greed started crumbling. His farmlands dried up despite rain. His palm wine keg spoiled overnight. The villagers stopped fearing him and instead treated him with cold distance. For the first time, he lived like an ordinary man, humbled, stripped of power. But he accepted it, telling himself it was better to live humbly than die cursed. 3 years passed. Adis returned, not as the timid girl who once cried, "Daddy, stop please," but as a strong, beautiful woman dressed in healer's garments. She carried herbs, charms, and wisdom learned from the forest spirits. The villagers gathered, marveling at her. Even Chief Obis knelt before her, tears streaming. "My daughter, you have become greater than I ever imagined." Adi smiled softly. "And you, Father, have learned humility." She blessed him with healing herbs, restoring his health and calming the curses on his land. But she never stayed. She traveled from village to village, healing and protecting girls from forced marriages. From then on, no man in Umuku dared force his daughter into marriage, for the story of Adis, the girl who cried, "Daddy, stop please," and became a spirit-protected healer, lived on for generations. And Chief Obis. He spent the rest of his life quietly, often found under the Iroko tree, telling young fathers, "Never silence your daughter's tears. One day, those tears will speak louder than your pride." The end.